Maria's talking, so call Maria, her show is killer. You won't believe it, darling, there's long-time listeners and first-time callers. They love Maria, that's why they keep saying, and we're gonna get loud, but we're gonna get close. She's here and she's going strong. Maria Sanchez, this is the show, darling. She'll give you something to talk about. She's gonna help you figure it out. She'll give you something to talk about. So call in the show. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, you shouldn't be late.
Welcome to the Maria Sanchez Show. Thank you so much for watching. We are live. It's Tuesday, November 23rd, and we're here from 4 o'clock on Monday through Friday. And then also as the needs in the community and the county prevail, we're there for you. So please contact us via the website at kadytv.com, which you know that's why you're here, because you're watching us on the website. But if there's an event that you'd like us to help promote or to learn more about, or there's an issue in your community that you'd like us to help explore, or you want us to be there, just let us know. I'm Maria at kadytv.com, and then that way we can see how our manpower is and how the logistics are, because obviously as the year comes to a close, there's a lot going on, not only with the holidays, but the end of the year and the businesses and etc. So without further ado, if it's Tuesday, that must mean that it's Suze Montgomery in studio with us. We have senior segments with Suze, and Suze has brought a guest today.
One of my favorite people. And actually, Bob, you can introduce yourself, but this is, and he will tell you his story in just a moment. But Bob, just a little bit of a background. I met Bob when he was a resident and he was rehabbing from some surgery in our facility at the Venturan, which is next door to the townhouse. And Bob became an active participant in our class. And now he is graduated, he is home, he's rehabbed back with Lois, back at home again. And Bob and Mark pretty frequently come in on Mondays and still join our class, which is great because they always add so much to our class. But Bob's got a great story, and I think this is what's going to be exciting. So I'm going to just shut up and let Bob roll and introduce himself.
Well, as you've noticed, I'm Bob McCampbell. I grew up in these parts. I was born in the old St. John's Hospital in Oxnard. It's since been demolished. I don't know how they could have possibly have demolished such a wonderful site, but it's gone. I had the honor of being born there mainly because of the only hospital around these parts. My folks really lived in Fillmore, where I spent the first 5 years of my life. And then I managed to get into 4 or 5 different schools in the first grade. I don't think that propelled me on to greatness, but...
Did you fail?
No, I didn't fail.
You
No,
just got to ask that question.
It only took me a year to get. I had the standard time.
Did you move a lot? Is that what happened?
Yes, I did move a bit. And moving along with my rather ordinary life, as a child, I grew up in Ventura Avenue. It was a great place for youth. It's a real American setting with good swimming holes in the old Ventura River, and where boys all went bare butt, you know, and you wouldn't be caught dead in a bathing suit there in those days.
I never heard this story.
So skinny dipping, hey? In those days, it wasn't against the law. You know,
Is it against the law?
to be, what is that called, public nakedness or something?
Oh, geez. Glad we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I did have a wonderful youth out in Barnes of Ventura Avenue and the great river that was unimpeded flowing through there. I had one of the better things that happened to me in my youth is my mother. She was a bit of a tennis player, and that was something for those days. She had gotten her dad to build, she and her sister, a tennis court.
Wow.
Sort of a dirt one, I think. I never saw it, but
That's pretty progressive.
Or a precursor to clay.
They took the Sears Roebuck or Montgomery Ward catalog, I think, and ordered tennis equipment.
How neat.
Somewhere they'd seen and heard or read about tennis. And she dragged me out in the tennis courts when I was about 10 years old, and I was very reluctant to do that. I thought it was a sissy sport, or I'd be labeled as one, and I was in danger of that anyway because I was a pretty little guy at that time. But at any rate, she insisted, and we played some tennis, and she taught me the rudimentary parts of it, and I finally got thinking that's kind of fun. And as I went to junior high school, the old Cabrillo High School there, that then was going between the 7th and the 10th grade.
Now, is that Cabrillo Middle School
Yeah,
currently?
that's it.
Okay, before they built a high school here? That was the high school?
No, it wasn't a high school. It went through the 10th grade.
Okay.
They had 3 more grades. The 9th,
So that would be
9th
like
through the
Junior high is what we call
well,
it.
Yeah.
it was called a junior high there,
okay.
but it just stopped at the 10th grade. You moved on to 11th, 12th. Yeah, it was just about 11th and 12th. I was trying to add another
I
grade
was
to
trying
high
to
school.
remember, yeah.
What confused me is then high school of 11th and 12th grade was part of the junior college, and you could go to the
really?
13th and 14th grade.
Oh, I never heard of such a
Yeah,
thing.
for a while there was
But
that.
it was considered a community college then? Or it was...
I don't know. I should have researched that.
What was your
curious.
family's business? What did your parents do?
Dad was superintendent of the Seaside Oil Refinery out on the avenue, and we were very lucky. Had such a wonderful escape from the Depression. I never knew there was a Depression, except some of my friends in the neighborhood were certainly hurt by it, and families were in dire straits. But we took vacations, and my gosh, he made over $200 a month all through.
That was big money.
Big money.
It was huge money. Everybody else was in lines.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, that part sort of my life growing up. As I got later on, I went to my folks. Unfortunately, split up, and
Oh my.
that was a tragedy.
No, you
first
were
for
in
me.
school when this happened?
Yeah, I was in about the 6th or 7th grade, I
Oh
think.
boy, that's pretty dramatic for a kid.
I was a non-sibling, so I was the only child.
Oh my God.
And that was a bad thing. The good thing was I ran into a boy named Gordon Kimball, whose family has a nice road named after him.
Yeah, is that the same?
Yeah.
Oh, our new community
Yeah.
park?
Yeah, and he was a tennis player. And from then on, I could do something better than a lot of the other kids in school.
Good.
Mainly because I'd done it more. For somebody that age, very few kids had wielded a tennis racket.
Probably saved you.
Yeah, it sure saved me. My mother and I moved to Santa Barbara after a stint in Fort Worth, Texas. And I went through high school there, and a highlight of my high school days was being able to play tennis and an ability to play on the tennis team, which was big stuff there then. It wasn't considered something that was out of left field.
In Santa Barbara
Yeah,
circles.
Yeah.
It was a good time, and even got to play. I was the last man on our team of 8 players, and I was playing doubles, and the coach put me on with the number 1 guy who was a ranked player in Southern California, and we were playing against Jack Kramer, who was an all-time famous
That's
player.
huge.
It was an odd situation, and the Montebello team put Kramer on, took him off the singles list because he figured he had 2 or 3 singles players that could win their matches, and he knew that the last man on their team needed a little help, and so my partner, number 1 Ventura guy, or Santa Barbara guy at that time, and I played Jack Kramer as the semifinals of the CIF, and we won the clinching match.
Boy.
Playing against them.
And my first tennis racket was a Jack Kramer
Mine
racket.
too.
Wood racket, which I
Me
still
too.
have to this day.
This
Well,
is
a
a
lot of
big
people-
deal.
A lot of people played with those.
We're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
So, and then we'll be back with, we're visiting with Bob McCampbell and Suze Montgomery. It's seniors, Suze and seniors, and somehow I fit in there. And you're watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KEDYTV.com. The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county. Whether we're broadcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, checking in with the leaders in our communities, hearing from our elected officials, helping to promote public safety, preparedness, and wellness. We are here for the needs of Ventura County. The Maria Sanchez Show is also about entertainment and events. Sharing information, creating awareness, and supporting those in need. Won't you join us as we rewrite the rules of local television on the Maria Sanchez Show at www.kadytv.com. Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. We are live. It is Tuesday, November 23rd. Hopefully everybody's going to be safe and sound, and happy Thanksgiving early to you. We're going to talk a little bit about that later in the program, about the new TSA guidelines and what you can do to avoid some of the complications. We're continuing our conversation with in-studio guest Bob McCampbell and Suze Montgomery. And Mr. McCampbell was born in Ventura County in the now defunct and destroyed St. John's Hospital, as he just so eloquently put it, and is the subject of this autobiography. And Suze, why don't you set the tone for that?
I don't even remember how we started with this, Bob, but we were talking about veterans, remember? And I think that's maybe how the whole subject started. And Bob was a veteran of the war, and most of the men in my room were veterans. When I took a poll one day, and every single one of them they was sitting there. But Bob was extraordinary because Bob had extraordinary adventures. And I mean, and he actually wrote a book, which is the one I have in my hand. And like I said, every time I pick it up, I start chuckling because he really has this great style of writing. And the stories are just vivid. And you were, let's see, how old were you when you enlisted?
Well, I was working, I'd gotten a year of college
Okay.
at UCSB. And it wasn't UCSB then, but it was Santa Barbara College, Teachers College, I think it was. I graduated from UCSB as a part of the fraternity of California colleges. I got in, I had applied, I was working one summer as a stock boy, and a few jobs were opening up, and I was just amazed that somebody asked me if I wanted to earn $20 a week, and I said I sure did. And although gasoline was only about 25 or 30 cents a gallon then, I still needed a car to go out on the town. I couldn't go very far. I couldn't even go to bars at that time. I was a little young. But I had talked to some fellas at the college who had applied for the pilot training in the RAF. They had to go through the Canadian program.
With the Air Force?
Not our Air Force. We
Royal,
weren't at war.
Royal, yeah.
We were trying to not mention the fact that we were very close friends of the British. But I had spent some time building model airplanes and had a lot of airplane magazines. I bought at a secondhand magazine shop on Ventura Avenue, and I got quite an interest there, those things. Kept those for a long time. But from the time I was milking a cow on the winter ranch in Ontario area, Covina, I guess it was closer to, beautiful ranch. One day I'd been working there for the summer between my junior and senior year in high school in Santa Barbara, and I was milking a cow, and the radio that was broadcasting my music, which is good bandstand jazz, at that time, was interrupted to say that the Germans had invaded Poland, and by treaty, the French and the British had declared war on Germany.
Wow.
And I got thinking, gee whiz, that's very big stuff. I thought maybe I might be involved in that sometime. I was still 16, 17 years old. And but I still kept my interest up from that time, gave up cow milking. That was just one of my jobs, but at that time, and it was a good one. As I say, I was working as a stock boy at a large 5 and 10 in Santa Barbara.
You weren't commuting from Santa Barbara to Covina?
No. I stayed the whole summer down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the summer.
Yeah. But I had managed to get an application into the United States Air Force, and but again, we were not yet in the fracas. We were helping under the table through Lend-Lease and things. Roosevelt trying to help Churchill, who was the last country alive and
True.
not unconquered. But at any rate, my application came through. Pearl Harbor was attacked, of course, and my application was processed rather rapidly for that reason. And I got into the Air Force flying cadet program. I was, let's see, how old was I? I guess by that time I was 18.
Oh my God, you were that young?
Barely 18. And I went through, had a lot of difficulty learning to fly, as well as the other, my compatriots, most of the guys that were with me, and flying little biplanes and things that had college training on a government program with their college curriculum. And as it was, they washed out about 60% of our class.
Really?
And what I did barely squeeze through. My book indicates.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I interrupt you? I noticed on the back here, and I've noticed this before, but I think everybody at home should be aware of this as well. You were not just flying airplanes. I mean, you actually got injured. You got the Distinguished Flying Cross. You got a Purple Heart, an Air Medal, and a Presidential Unit Citation. That's no small potatoes, Bob.
Well,
That's a big deal.
there were,
Now, he's a very humble, self-effacing man. Believe me, Bob is, once you get to know him, he's just very humble. I mean, he's always been this way. But when you see, he wrote the book, but when you see these commendations, this is not this is somebody,
flyer.
this is not an ordinary man. And like you said, an ordinary guy in extraordinary times. I disagree with this, honey. You're an extraordinary man, and this was extraordinary times.
You know what's interesting about, I don't know if you know, but Condoleezza Rice just issued her autobiography.
Oh, yes. I'd like to read
this
that.
month, and it's Extraordinary Ordinary People.
Oh, really?
And
She's
it's
still
about
in your
her-
thunder,
It's
kid.
about her parents.
Can I sue?
So,
Yeah, I think so. That's copyright infringement, Bob.
5 years, 5 years on her with that title. We're
Yeah,
going to take a
wait.
quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Bob McCampbell and Suze Montgomery. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com. The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county. Whether we're broadcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, checking in with the leaders in our communities, hearing from our elected officials, helping to promote public safety, preparedness, and wellness. We are here for the needs of Ventura County. The Maria Sanchez Show is also about entertainment and events. Sharing information, creating awareness, and supporting those in need. Won't you join us as we rewrite the rules of local television on the Maria Sanchez Show at www.kadytv.com. Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. We're live. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock, and today's Tuesday, November 23rd, so you know we're live. And we're finishing our conversation with Ventura County resident and fighter pilot extraordinaire, Lieutenant Colonel Bob McCampbell, and Suze Montgomery, who has facilitated this conversation. And thank you again for taking the time, and thank you for your service and for your sacrifice.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Your kind words. I never thought of myself as a fighter pilot. Got through flying school pretty fairly easily after going through the steps, basic, primary, basic, and advanced, and I initially was sent up to Painfield, Washington, to fly fighter planes. Somehow they threw people in various bins for some reason. They decided I fitted in the fighter pilot bin. So and I never knew why. They probably wouldn't trust me with other people in the airplane.
No, you probably were pretty
Aggressive,
even tempered.
But
Let it loose.
we got up to Painfield, which is now the big Boeing plant.
Oh yeah,
up above
outside Seattle. Yeah,
you
been there.
tour that place now. None of that was there. But the Army was there, and I was there. Army Air Corps it was in those days. And what did I find when I got there? We had one airplane per squadron.
What?
And this was September of 1942. And almost a year till the anniversary of the heinous crimes that Japan
Right.
led us to.
But one plane? One plane?
One plane per squadron, that's all we had. So,
Shared planes?
you can imagine there was an argument with that, I'm sure, amongst the brass as to which airplanes to send overseas and which one to take for people training. They fairly quickly overcame that, and we did, as a few months went by, started getting some airplanes out of the assembly line, and that was an interesting time. It was the airplane that I was given was a P-39, given, not given, I was stuck in, and it was not the greatest airplane in the world. It was an airplane that had an engine behind the cockpit with a hollow drive shaft going up between your legs, sort of, and a cannon emplaced in the nose and a drive shaft. The nose, the empty nose, housed cannon ammunition, and the plane was, you can imagine, an airplane that had cannon shells in the nose and fired them would have some problems with balance. They were imbalanced in certain times, and so they had to, we flew them most of the time with sandbags in the nose.
Oh my
And
God.
other times we flew with cannon in the nose. We got to fire the cannon once or twice, and they'd boop, boop, boom, and they'd jam.
Oh my God.
And, well, they finally were able to get some of those problems solved and upgrade the airplane a bit, but we lost a lot of people in that airplane. We've got...
Is it because of a malfunctioning of the plane? Or was it pilot error?
I'd like to say it was malfunctioning of the airplane. But the problem I had, I was up doing aerobatics, and which of course you had to learn to do well and practice to be a fighter pilot. And suddenly I found myself tumbling heel over kettle, and then coming out in a flat spin, nose high flat spin, and I dropped the landing gear and everything, flaps, gunned it wide open, and nothing happened. I was just coming down like a leaf,
Oh my gosh.
relatively slowly, but fast enough to kill me. And when I got down out of the government's altitude into mine, I decided to get out. But that airplane had two little car-like doors on each side of the cockpit, and car-like handles inside, something like the cars that we had in those days. They're a little different than our handles today, but
Sure, I remember.
I tried to get out of the thing, and I couldn't get them open. I neglected to pull some pins out, but I fumbled and finally hit as hard I could, the door as hard as I could with my shoulder, and just rolled out with the door.
Oy.
And it, I didn't, I hit the tail with my head, just grazed it, and it kind of knocked me out, but not for very long. As with the chute opening, I bonked, it shook me awake, and I looked up at this beautiful womb of a canopy of a parachute that's nicely floating me down.
Thank God for that.
I hadn't had any practice in a parachute, so I remember I was trying to pull the cords around so that I was facing forward with the wind, and I never did quite get that done before I hit the ground. And
So did you land on your back?
yeah, I did. I landed, but just not too hard. That wasn't too bad.
They didn't train you how to
And
fall?
I went in between the apple orchard trees that I was in, and
And this was where in Washington?
this was in Santa Rosa, California. By this time, we'd gone to several places and we'd gotten a lot of airplanes by that time. This is early 1943, and there was a couple of pretty girls in a convertible coming down this country road, and I flagged them down, and then I noticed I was bleeding all over the place with nothing serious.
That was secondary, right?
Yeah,
You saw the girls first, yeah.
the girls.
Hands and mash.
That's true. But then I realized what I did. This is a beautiful, relatively new convertible. Anything new then was especially good because they'd stopped making cars. And,
That's true.
but behind this girl was a old guy in a truck, and some sort of a farm truck, and I decided I'd better take a ride with him and mess up his upholstery,
with your blood.
and which sort of disappointed the girls. I don't think because of me. It's just the incident was interesting, but he got me to a clinic of some kind. It was an old farmhouse with a doctor, and he sewed me up, and I went on from there. That was my start as a fighter pilot, but I was very concerned about that airplane.
I bet.
I wasn't so confident with it. I might have been, but I got sent overseas as a replacement pilot instead of going with a unit. 4 or 5 of my friends, starting out a little after midnight with orders, flew me to Florida. We goofed around there for a while, had fun swimming and partying. In fact, we were a little overdue at the place we were supposed to report. But they were so anxious to get the cannon fodder overseas that they forgave us that little hiccup. But
Before we run out of time, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is your book readily available?
Sure.
Okay, can we?
Talk about the book.
Yeah, because we've got just a few minutes. So the title is An Ordinary Guy in Extraordinary Times.
Yeah.
Bob McCampbell is the author, which is our guest today. And via Amazon, or is it in bookstores? Or?
They're in Amazon. Also, they had them at Borders up till recently. I don't know if they have any now.
That'd be good.
Barnes and Noble?
No,
Because the Borders is
Borders?
closed now in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
Ours in Oxnard is still open.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
open.
Yeah, Oxnard Tennis Center, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the Oxnard Tennis Center has.
The tennis
Yeah.
center. Okay,
That's a
what's
plug for the
that?
kid.
My son-
Tennis still
Shameless
conserves,
plug.
serves you well.
Yeah.
So, and is there anything else we should know before we say goodbye?
No, but I mean, just, you know, I'm in off camera. You don't see Mark and you don't see Lois's family, and I've gotten to know the family quite well, and he's got other children, and I just have to say that Bob is one of my favorite people. I mean, Bob is extraordinary. I disagree with him. He's not ordinary. He's extraordinary. He's humble, self-effacing, yes, but he's got a sweetheart, and the whole family is just wonderful. I mean, this is what America is. This exemplifies a true American, and I'm just humbled when he comes to our class, and I'm just happy to be his friend, and I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank
This
you
was
for
a big.
taking-
Thank you for
so
having us, Maria.
much for having me.
And extraordinary man.
Suze Montgomery, our guest, Bob McCampbell, the book
An ordinary guy in extraordinary times.
Times. And you're watching the Maria Sanchez Show. When we come back, we have a little holiday cheer to share with you about something you might want to do and to help a great cause. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com.
Maria's talking, so call Maria. Her show is killer. You won't believe it, darling. There's long time listening.
Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. We are live. It's Tuesday, November 23rd. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Ventura Executive Suites in downtown Ventura. If you'd like to come by and take a tour of the studios, you're welcome at any time. The Maria Sanchez Show is live Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock. And if there's a program that you'd like us to get behind, something you'd like us to promote, an activity that you'd like us to broadcast from, please let us know under the Contact Us. I'm Maria at KADYTV.com. But the Contact Us goes to our staff, and then we ferret it out. And if we can fit you in, we will, because we are about the county, by the county, and for the county. And we try and feature one 501c3 a day. So, of course, that follows in with our segue to our guest. We have Scott Hansen in studio. Scott is with the Wellness Community. And Scott, you're here to help share the great news about your holiday home tour, which is in its 19th year.
It is. And first off, Maria, thank you so much for the time and your generosity in highlighting some of the nonprofits in Ventura County, because there are literally hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits doing such great work. And I'm pleased to be associated in the board chair of the Wellness Community, which is a organization that helps cancer patients and their family with the mental, social, psychological aspects of fighting cancer. And we offer free professional programs of emotional support and education. And what it all does is it provides hope. And it's been well documented that when someone is battling cancer, how they are mentally, how their support system is, how their team, how their family, all of that plays a very important role in how they fight cancer and their success rates. And the Wellness Community plays a real crucial role here in Ventura County in providing that. And we offer really professionally led groups, therapy, etc.
Now, before you go into anything more, I know there's a Wellness Community in the Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks area. Is that your primary facility?
That's our primary facility, but we do offer programs throughout Ventura County and also through the San Fernando Valley.
And for somebody to be able to avail themselves of a program that the Wellness Community offers, do they find out about you? If they, let's say they're not watching our program, so do they
Right.
find out about you from the referring physician? And is there a schedule of classes or seminars that you offer that people can avail themselves of in terms of what their needs are and or what their family members' needs are?
That's an outstanding question. You know, actually, the majority of our participants find out about our services from a friend.
Really?
And even though we are very well connected in the medical community, especially with the oncology groups throughout Ventura County and the San Fernando Valley, our literature is in most of the doctor's offices in our service area. It takes oftentimes a friend to say, you know, these guys really do help, because when you see a brochure, you can read it and you're maybe interested, maybe skeptical, but when a friend says, I know someone who went here and they were a great help, most of the people that come through our door are referred by another person who we have helped. So, but yes, we are very, very visible throughout the county.
And if I'm understanding you correctly, you help not only the patient but the family and vice versa.
Absolutely. It's very important. The fight against cancer is the most traumatic thing that someone will go through their life. And to have a support system, a spouse, children, parents, we have groups that work with all of them. So we have a group called Kids Circle, for example, that works with children of parents who are battling cancer. And it helps the kids understand what's going on, helps them express themselves and understand what, you know, some of the emotions that they're going through, because a lot of times when a parent is going through cancer, the kid feels like I'm the only one in the world that this is happening to. And when they sit down amongst a group of 12, 15 others that are going through the same thing, there's great comfort involved. We have a caregivers group, we have parents, we have siblings, we have obviously spouses, and then obviously we do a lot of groups for the cancer patients themselves.
Now, do you have anything that is geared towards adult children of, because both
Absolutely.
of my parents are cancer survivors, and we're all adults, us kids, and so we're handling it the best way we know how. But my mother in particular, I would imagine there are cycles within coming to grips with cancer that are similar to loss, where they talk about the pain and then the anger and then the force, whatever cycles.
Absolutely.
I can't articulate them now, but I know there's 4 of them.
Well, and add on that the generational issue where you are caring for your parents to a certain extent, and that's we often our licensed and our professional caregivers will often, what we do is we interview people who come in to help, and we say, okay, we try to understand what the real issues are, and then help them with a group of, if you will, peers, and put them in a group that I think that they can relate to. So yes, you name it, we have the ability to serve.
Because one thing that I know that we've found with, I'm the eldest of 4, and my siblings and I, our mother has always been Pollyanna and happy-go-lucky, and there's always a silver lining to every cloud. And suddenly, since she's been affected by cancer, her personality has taken on a dramatic change, and it's nothing that we expected, because we're thinking, holy heck, you're a survivor. Wouldn't you be grateful to be alive? But she's angry.
Yeah.
And we're like reeling from that, because it's been 3.5 years now. It's like, when is this ever going to end?
Yeah, and I think one of the things you'll find is it's never what you expect it to be. And you're right, somebody who had a real positive outlook, which probably, by the way, her Pollyannish attitude probably helped her be a survivor to a certain extent. Sometimes it does change people, and I think it's really important that everybody understands about that and understands what's at the root of that, to help your relationship and help you and your siblings better understand your mom.
Well, the one thing that I was with them last, and I finally took my dad aside and I said, you're going to get caregiver syndrome unless you do something that's for you every day, by getting out, getting away, playing golf, going to your Kiwanis, Knights of Columbus, all those things that he had kind of put on the shelf because he was providing her with her day-to-day care.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure I'm, a neophyte.
Yeah.
I'm an armchair, whatever. I would imagine the wellness community would say, we know that. If you do this, that'll help that. Or if you
Yes.
go here, that'll do that.
Well, imagine all of the people that your mom knows and all of the lives that she touched in a positive way. When someone like your mom goes through cancer and the traumatic events that are around cancer and fighting the disease, it has an equal impact on all the people whose lives she touched in a positive way. So we often see people coming in going, I'm not the spouse, but I'm somebody close, and it's impacting me. Can you help? The answer is yes.
And we have a couple segments that we're going to be able to devote to this, which
Sure.
I'm happy to be able to allow us to do. And before we go into the holiday home
Yes.
tour, which is why we're here today,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you the question, Scott, why did you get involved with the wellness community?
That's the first question a lot of people ask me, and one of the things that I've told people, because we have a board of 25. Everybody on the board has been touched by cancer in one way or another. My story is a very unique one in that I had a colleague that I worked with who I thought had beaten breast cancer, and what happened was beat it, had a celebration party, welcome back to work, everything was just great, and one day she was moving a box of files and hurt her back. And okay, well, you hurt your back, go see the doctor. She went and saw the doctor. The doctor said, well, you really hurt your back. You need to go out on disability. And my employee at the time said, okay, we'll put you on disability, but you need to see our doctor to make sure you're really hurt. They went through the employee's doctor, and they discovered that the cancer, which she had thought she had beaten, had spread to the majority of her body. And this was someone who was in her late 30s, 2 kids, husband, portrait of a family, right? And I watched what happened to this family as a result of it. And this is right at the time I was getting involved with the wellness community. I was aware of who they were. Tried to get her family there, couldn't get the family there. I saw what happened to the family, and I also, in that process, saw what good work they did with people who did take the time to step through our doors. And I realized that this is something that I could do to make a difference. And that's really the story behind it. And that was about 8 years ago, and I've been involved ever since.
Good for you.
Thank
Good
you.
for us. Thank
Yeah.
you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the details of the wellness community's holiday home tour, the dates, what you can expect, the cost, and a little bit of a tweak about what the homes are all about. We're visiting with Scott Hansen, the board chair of the wellness community. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show. We'll be right back. The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county. Whether we're broadcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, checking in with the leaders in our communities, hearing from our elected officials, helping to promote public safety, preparedness,
and wellness. We are here for the needs of Ventura County. The Maria Sanchez Show is also about entertainment and events. Sharing information, creating awareness, and supporting those in need. Won't you join us as we rewrite the rules of local television on the Maria Sanchez Show at www.kadytv.com.
Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. We are live Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock. Thereafter, we always post every one of our segments on the website, and you can look under archives. And the other thing that works really well on our website, if you go into the search engine and you search either the topic or the name of the guest, that'll get you to the segments that you are looking for. And we revitalized our website earlier this month. We are in the process of doing that again because technology keeps changing and we're staying with technology. So we're excited about that. And if you see something that you'd like, or in fact, we've got a couple of comments from folks who said this wasn't working or that link wasn't right. We appreciate that because obviously we can't be all over the place. So with that in mind, in terms of technology, we've got something that's user-friendly. We have in studio Scott Hansen, who is the chair of the board of directors of the Wellness Community. And the Wellness Community is having their 19th annual holiday home tours. So Scott, why don't you let us know what the dates are, what the cost is, and what to expect?
Sure. First off, the dates, it's the 19th annual holiday home tour. It's going to be December 4th, which is Saturday, a couple Saturdays from now, and December 5th, Sunday from 10 to 6. And what the holiday home tour is it is a self-guided tour of 4 spectacular homes in the Conejo Valley that are decorated up for Christmas, or for the holidays, I should say. And the themes are, one home is the magic of Christmas, another is Santa's Hideaway, the third is Hacienda Holiday Homes, and then the fourth one is Vintage Christmas. And so as you'll see here, some of these pictures are from the past holiday home tours. These are very nice homes. A lot of times they're in either North Ranch or the Lake Sherwood area, or in some of the very nicer neighborhoods in the Conejo Valley. And what the volunteers do who own the homes is they go all out. And it is just so impressive to see somebody decorate. A lot of them do the entire home, including the bedrooms. Some do the common areas, the family room, the kitchen, the living room, the hallways. And it is really amazing. They spend hours upon hours and have numerous volunteers just to decorate their own homes. And it is so impressive. And
and then they let the general public / strangers into their homes to avail themselves of the grandeur of it.
Thousands of people, which is amazing because it takes someone with a real kind heart and a real open mind to let thousands of strangers over one weekend walk through their home. But we do a very good job through our volunteers, and we have numerous docents at every home. It's not a free-for-all where they wander out throughout the house, but they do our self-guided tours, and the generosity of our home sponsors is just incredible. But you have to see it to believe it. Everybody, I know a lot of people like to decorate their homes for the holidays, my family included, but it boggles my mind when I walk into one of these homes, and then usually these very big homes, and how well and how much detail they're decorated. It really puts people in the holiday spirit.
And what does it cost?
If you buy your tickets in advance, it's $30. Tickets at the door are $35, and there's 2 ways really to get tickets in advance. One, we have an 800 number. It is 888-557-3177. That's our toll-free number. And then you could also purchase tickets on our website, which is www.twcvv.org. And that's short for the Wellness Community Valley Ventura.org. So twcvv.org. And provided you purchase the tickets in advance, it's $30 per person.
Children or seniors?
Children, I believe, you're putting my knowledge to the test here. I believe children under a certain age are free of charge.
Okay.
And seniors,
That's probably on your website.
all of that information is on the website, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have holiday boutiques, or do you have beverages and snacks? And
We do. We actually have in conjunction with the holiday home stores, we do have a holiday boutique. It's the same weekend during the same time, 10 to 6, December 4th, December 5th. It's at the North Ranch Center, which is at the base of the North Ranch Estates there it's 1400 North Westlake Boulevard. So those of you familiar to the Conejo Valley, if you were to take Westlake Boulevard north from the freeway, it's about 1.5 miles up on the right-hand side. The holiday boutique is free to the public. We have dozens and dozens of vendors there selling not only drinks and the like, but also holiday crafts and all sorts of decorations and things. And so it is very popular with the public.
And do you start the tour wherever you want? Because the homes are obviously somewhat close, but they're not walking distance, or you get
No.
shuttled, or what?
No, the homes are all drivable, and it really depends on year to year. Some years, if a home is behind a gated community, we do shuttle the public in, and we have a common area where people go to take the shuttle. This year, the tour is self-guided. What will happen is with your tickets, you will get a map. You will pick up a map to where the homes are. You will have to have your ticket with you to enter the homes, each home. So, and the locations of the homes will be divulged the day
The
of the
day
event.
of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm very familiar with the Conejo Valley since I was a resident there for 19 years, 18
okay.
years. I'm not familiar with the North Ranch part of what. I know on the way to go to Country Club Estates by Westlake High,
Yes.
but you're not talking about that
No,
yet.
basically, if you were at the intersection of Westlake and Thousand Oaks Boulevard and you headed north on Westlake up into the hills, it is about 1.5 miles up on the right, just as you're entering the North Ranch, basically.
Before
North
the
Ranch.
Country Club.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, just to give some people orientation
Yes.
in that regard.
Thank you.
If you buy a ticket, is it good for both days?
That's a good question. I would say that generally the ticket is good for one day. They do punch the ticket as you enter the home. But for example, if you didn't have time to get to all the homes, they would accommodate you. Yes, most people tend to do the tour one day, but yeah, if they wanted to split the tour up, I'm sure we could accommodate.
And rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
Scott, what does the money go to?
The money goes again to, this is the Wellness Community Valley Ventura. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And I think it's important, again, I think I've said this a couple of times, but our programs are all free of charge. So basically we provide programs to help those with cancer, enhance their health, their well-being, their possibility of recovery. We have licensed psychotherapists who facilitate programs in both English and Spanish. And programs are held throughout Ventura County and the San Fernando Valley. Our ability to help the public is only limited by the amount of money we raise. And so every year we have a number of fundraising endeavors. We do get some grants. We do have some very, very good individual donors and some very good corporate sponsors. But this is our biggest single fundraiser of the year. So its success really does help those in great need.
Now, if somebody's watching and they wanted to avail themselves of the wellness community, is there a commitment that you have to make? Do you have to say, I'm going to attend these sex evenings?
No.
So it's user-friendly?
It's extremely user-friendly, and really what we want to do is we want to tailor what we do around the participant, because it's very important. A lot of times, that's why we have programs throughout geographically, because someone who is suffering from cancer or going through chemotherapy or radiation, they're really not going to want to get in the car and drive a long distance. So we really do try to bring the programs closest to serve those in our geographic area. All of our programs are really centered around the needs of our participants. So some people are there 3 times a week, some people come once a month. It's up to them and what works for them.
Why don't you share the phone number and the website again, so
Absolutely.
people can get your pens handy.
Yeah, and again, online it's www.twcvv, the Wellness Community Valleyventura.org. The phone number to call is 557-3177. And also, if you're interested in any way of helping with the event, either making the tour a success by becoming a sponsor, an advertiser in our program, or simply by volunteering, it takes more than 200 volunteers to make this program work, by the way, this fundraiser. Our office number is 805-379-4777. And if you're interested in finding out about more how you can help, we'd be glad to have you.
Scott Hansen, thank you so much for your time and for this amazing, wonderful, inspirational message.
Thank you, Maria. It's
You're
a pleasure.
welcome. Scott Hansen, shall I say vice chair or chair?
Board chair.
Board chair of the wellness community and the Holiday Homes Tour, now in its 19th year, which really says something about the legacy that they've created. $30 is your donation, and you get to see 4 homes in the Conejo Valley. And if anybody's familiar with some of those homes, they're pretty spectacular without the decorations. Again, if you are part of a 501c3, we'd like to hear from you, and we appreciate you watching the Maria Sanchez Show. When we come back, we're going to do a quick segment about what the TSA would like you to wear if you're traveling for the holidays because of their change in protocol, and a little bit about turkeys. So you're watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com. We'll be right back.
Maria's talking, so call Maria. Her show is killer. You won't believe it, darling. There's long-time listeners and first-time callers. They love Maria. That's why they keep saying, and we're gonna get loud, but we're gonna get close. She's here and she's going strong. Maria Sanchez, this is a show, darling. She'll give you something to talk about. She's gonna help you figure it out. She'll give you something to talk about. So call in the show, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, this is a segment that we affectionately call Maria's Musings. They don't happen every day, but if there's additional information that we want to share with you that we can't do within the context of an in-studio guest, we set apart this time for that. Now, if you've been hearing about the TSA and all the folks that are grumbling about what's going on, and tomorrow being the most traveled day in the United States, and why is that? Because it's a holiday and it doesn't have any religious affiliation, so it's all about our patriotism, and so it affects all Americans. Keeping that in mind, I was like, well, okay, so what's the big deal? Because my whole thing about security is if it makes us a better, safer country with a passage, then so be it. However, what I didn't realize is that the new search techniques allows the TSA screeners to use their palms and their fingers to probe for hidden weapons and devices around sensitive body parts, including clothed genital areas and breasts. In the past, the philosophy was that they would brush along the body parts with the back of their hands. So that's what people are up in arms with. So in order to avoid that, if you go for the full body screen, you can get away from that. So that's your choice. Now, people are upset about the full body screening because it shows your body. The way I look at it is when I go to my gynecologist, how many bodies has she seen? It's part of her job. Oh, well, the same with the TSAs. I think we just need to get over it. So that's my personal opinion. You're entitled to yours. But so if you do want to go through the hand search, what they're saying is this: metal studs, including bras with underwires, are going to set things off. Slacks are preferred instead of skirts because they're saying anything that's baggy might be able to hide something. So baggy clothing is going to require extra security and extra inspection. And that's why they're saying, so go through the scanning machines to avoid the hassle. Now, some people, they're asking them to boycott the scanning machine tomorrow to ask for a hand pat. And all that's going to do is cause more delays. It'll make the planes be kept behind. I don't know quite what they're thinking they're going to do in that regard. So you obviously can make your own decisions. I would think that it would be better just to dress, they say, with shoes that slip off easily, pants, and sweaters that aren't bulky, or something that you can take off your jacket and remember that you're going to be seen. So somebody, council member from Los Angeles was saying, so sometimes I wear shoes and I forget what my feet are like. Sometimes I wear a jacket and I forget what my blouse is like underneath. So you just might want to factor that in before you leave. That's all you have to do. And then I'm on this latest thing about organic and free range. And so I wanted to share with you, we shared a little bit last week with Nina, our pet correspondent, about turkeys. And obviously this is America and you can make your own choice. But you should know, and I'm going to think it bears worth repeating, that the turkeys are like the chickens in that they are cooped up unless you get free range. So they're cooped up, they are stacked in cages, they rarely get to see the light of day or get to go out and explore the world. If they're one on top of another, obviously their feces drip down to one another. The worst with the turkeys that I read late last week was that when they're born, they cut the beaks off so that they don't hurt one another with their beaks. And they sometimes cut off some of their toes so that there's more room in the cages for them. But the worst part in my estimation is that they inject them with growth hormones, especially the males, so that the breasts are bigger. What this is causing the male turkeys to experience is not only are they breast heavy, but they're unable to procreate naturally because they cannot mount the female or the hen turkey. So they do what they call, they milk the semen from the male turkeys to inseminate the female turkeys so that we can have more turkeys. So you might want to keep that in mind when you're making your choices for this holiday. I know that I will. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com. Thank you so much for your time. See you tomorrow. Morphine the contents too.
It won't. No. You see the
Well,
solids.
you say that.
No, they've proven it. They're using it overseas.
Oh, that's the best example. I want to talk to you too about the SUS things.
Okay.
So I really tried to keep my programmer's hat off and be just a facilitator. I just don't know how interesting it is. I get it that it's living county history.
Here's what
Which is
happens.
important.
Here's what happens, okay? The numbers will show. In other words, we can't be doing it for free. We gotta get it now. Truthfully, part of the thing that Terry got excited about was that the market she wants to make the comments to by the month. So it's, it's to see the market.
Well, let me say this. I know that it has a place. I don't know if it has a place at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,